Once upon a time in a quaint village, there lived a generous man named Hiroshi. Hiroshi had a heart as vast as the open sky and a willingness to help that knew no bounds. He was known throughout the village for his acts of kindness, whether it was lending a hand to his neighbors or providing shelter to travelers passing through. One chilly winter's evening, as Hiroshi was sipping tea by his cozy fireplace, a shivering stranger knocked on his door. The stranger's name was Jean, and he appeared to be in dire need of help. Without hesitation, Hiroshi invited Jean inside, offering him warm blankets, hot tea, and a hearty meal. As the days passed, Jean grew comfortable in Hiroshi's home. He enjoyed Hiroshi's hospitality, indulging in delicious meals and lounging by the fire. However, rather than showing gratitude, Jin's attitude began to change. He expected Hiroshi to cater to his every whim and need, and he took Hiroshi's generosity for granted. Weeks turned into months, and Jean showed no signs of leaving. Hiroshi, ever the compassionate soul, found it difficult to ask Jean to depart, fearing that he might be in need. He began to feel like a guest in his own home, as Jean took over his space and made demands without hesitation. One day, Hiroshi decided it was time to gently broach the subject. He said, "Jean, I'm grateful for the time we've spent together, but I believe it's time for you to move on and continue your journey." Jin's response was surprising. He scoffed at Hiroshi and said, "Why would I leave this comfortable place? You've been so kind to me, I've decided to make this my permanent home." Hiroshi realized that Jean had been taking advantage of his kindness all along. He had hoped that his generosity would inspire Jean to change, but it had only emboldened him to overstay his welcome. With a heavy heart, Hiroshi said, "I'm afraid I cannot provide you a permanent home, Jean. It's time for you to go." Jean reluctantly packed his belongings and left Hiroshi's home, leaving behind a trail of untidiness and chaos. Hiroshi watched him go, feeling a mix of sadness and relief. Days later, as Hiroshi was tidying up the mess left behind by Jean, he noticed something was amiss. His valuable possessions, including a cherished family heirloom and a collection of rare books, were nowhere to be found. It dawned on him that Jean, the very person he had shown kindness to, had stolen his most prized possessions. Hiroshi was devastated by this betrayal. He couldn't believe that someone he had welcomed into his home had taken advantage of his kindness in such a way. Despite the loss, Hiroshi continued to be kind and generous, but he also learned a valuable lesson about the importance of discernment and setting boundaries. He understood that while kindness is a noble virtue, one must be careful not to let others exploit it, as some individuals may take advantage of your generosity and betray your trust in the most unexpected ways. Hiroshi's home was once again a place of peace and warmth, a testament to the enduring kindness and wisdom of its owner, who had learned that not everyone who crosses your path deserves your unwavering trust. The moral of the story is that while kindness is a beautiful virtue, it's essential to set boundaries and not allow others to take advantage of your generosity. Some may never recognize the value of your kindness and may even betray your trust in unexpected ways.